Pursuant to Section 49 of the Revised Corporation Code of the Philippines and SEC Memorandum Circular Number 6, Series of 2020, and in accordance with the authority granted by the Board of Directors on March 30, 2026, the annual stockholders meeting will be held through video conferencing. This approach reflects the board's decision to leverage technology for greater accessibility and efficiency, ensuring that stockholders can participate and vote remotely while maintaining compliance with applicable laws and regulations. For all those present, the meeting proceedings shall be recorded in audio and visual format.
Thank you, Attorney John, for the statement about this virtual meeting. And on behalf of the Board of Directors and the management of ITALPINAS Development Corporation, I would like to welcome your fellow stakeholders. I would like to take a moment to introduce the nominees for election of the Board of Directors. Romolo Nati, José Di Leviste III, Giuseppe Garofalo, Benjamin Tanco, Calvin Ryan Coherco, Christine Base, Grace Karen Simpson, Giovanni Gusella, Melchor Guerrero, Alfonso Salcedo, and Carlo Antonio Almirante. Also present in the meeting are our stock and transfer agent, BDO Unibank Trust and Investment Group, and our independent auditors, Murhoas, Tabano & Co. Hereby call this annual meeting of shareholders to order now and proceed according to our agenda. And I would like to request Attorney José Di Leviste III, President of IDC, to preside on this meeting. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the annual meeting of the stockholders of ITALPINAS Development Corporation is now called to order. Mr. Corporate Secretary, were notices duly issued and do we have a quorum?
Mr. Chair, notices of this meeting together with the agenda and the information statement of the corporation were sent beginning May 5, 2026 to all stockholders of record as of April 30, 2026 by personal delivery and by courier with postage prepaid. Based on the record of attendance, the stockholders attending this meeting in person and by proxy represent 537,749,043 common shares. This constitutes 74.27% of the outstanding capital stock of the corporation as of record date of April 30, 2026.
Thank you. May I request the Corporate Secretary to also discuss the rules and voting procedures followed for this meeting?
Only stockholders who have registered online may participate in the annual stockholders meeting via remote communication or exercise their right to vote in absentia or vote by proxy. Our procedures for registration, voting, and participation in our annual stockholders meeting are contained in the information statement and have been implemented as follows. Stockholders signified their intention to participate via remote communication by submitting requirements, mailing it to the Office of the Corporate Secretary, or via email no later than midnight on May 26, 2026. Registered shareholders were given an opportunity to send their questions and comments prior to the meeting. Questions and comments received will be taken up in this meeting. However, should there be questions received but not addressed during the open forum due to time constraints, it shall be addressed separately by the company through the stockholders' email address. Each of the proposed resolutions will be shown during the live streaming as the same is taken up at the meeting. Stockholders who registered through the online web address to participate in the meeting by remote communication will be included in determining quorum, together with the stockholders who voted in absentia and by proxy. Voting shall only be allowed for stockholders registered in the voting in absentia and shareholder system or through the chairman of the meeting as proxy. Stockholders voting in absentia who have previously registered through the online web address casted their votes either by person or in absentia by sending the documentary requirements with the transmittal letter to the Office of the Corporate Secretary at the 8th floor DPC Place, 2322 Chino Rosas Avenue, Makati City, or scan copies of the required documents by mail to Corporate Secretary at italpinas.com no later than May 26, 2026 at 12 midnight. All the items in the agenda for the approval by the stockholders will need the affirmative vote of stockholders representing at least a majority of the issued and outstanding voting stock present at the meeting. Election of directors will be by plurality of votes, and every stockholder will be entitled to accumulate his or her votes. The Committee of Inspectors of Proxies and Ballots will tabulate all votes received, and an independent third party will validate the results. The Corporate Secretary shall report the results of voting during the meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Corporate Secretary. The first business item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of the Annual Stockholders Meeting held on November 10, 2025. Copies of the minutes were posted on the company's website. Mr. Corporate Secretary, can you please present the minutes of the previous meeting and the voting results on the approval thereof?
Mr. Chairman, a copy of the minutes of the previous Annual Stockholders Meeting held on November 10, 2025 has been made available through the company's website. We would like to make it of record that stockholders owning 537,749,043 shares, or 74.27% of shares represented in the meeting, voted to approve the minutes of the meeting. 0 shares voted against it and none abstained.
This is noted. Accordingly, the motion is hereby carried and the November 10, 2025 minutes of the Annual Stockholders Meeting are approved. At this point, let me now request our CEO to present the management report and results of operations of the company for the year 2025.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I am pleased to present the company performance for the fiscal year 2025 and our future plan. This presentation is composed of 4 sections. First, we're going to discuss, to present the company, then our business model, we'll review then the financial performance, and then we'll give you an overview of the ongoing and completed project of the company. So what about ITALPINAS? ITALPINAS was incorporated in 2009 and is a public listed real estate developer since 2015. We are focusing on developing green building in the province of the Philippines. Even if the company, over the years, the company has received multiple awards for its excellence in design, among which the International Property Award for the best mixed use and hotel in Southeast Asia. We also have been recognized as sustainable champion by Edge. We also have been featured in multiple news, among which National Geographic, CNN, Bloomberg, nationally and internationally. And this is our conglomerate structure. So ITALPINAS, the listed company, is now starting to act more as an holding company and is operating through its 4 subsidiaries, IDC Prime and IDC Homes for the real estate development, and 2 other subsidiaries for the providing services to the real estate development company, Prima and Impresa. Prima is providing sales and marketing, property management, facility management services, while Impresa is a construction company that is taking care of developing our product. We hold now office in Makati, in Cagayan de Oro, Batangas, and satellite offices in Puerto Princesa and Bataan, Morong, Bataan. This is the composition of our board. Mr. Romolo Nati, Chairman and Founder, Mr. Giorgio Di Leviste, the President and Founder, myself, Attorney Christine Base, Mr. Benjamin Co, also one of our major shareholder, Mr. Calvin Coerco, Miss Karen Singson, Mr. Alfonso Salcedo, Mr. Melchor Guerrero, and our Corporate Secretary, Attorney Michael Tantocco. Here is an overview of our organizational chart. Some of the functions have been centralized to ITALPINAS. like finance, HR, admin, internal audit, business development, legal and compliance. While the two real estate company are doing function of project management. Impresa is taking care of the engineering, procurement, and construction, and Prima of the sales and marketing, property management, and facility management for our projects. We have now 17 years of proven experience. We've built more than 100,000 square meters. We have delivered more than 350 units, and we have contributed to save 500 metric ton of CO2 per year. And overall, we have received 21 international award, being recognized as trailblazer in sustainability development in the country. What are our competitive advantage? The first mover. So we identify, we look ahead of the curve, we identify where the growth is going to be, and we, through a deep market research, we're able to take advantage of the full growth of the place. Our Italian design, we're also good in innovation. So we really invest and take care of, we do a lot of research and development, looking for the best materials, the best design, in order to continue to improve our projects, to deliver the best product to our customer. And we are totally committed to sustainability. ITALPINAS, since 17 years ago, has only developed certified green buildings. This is our business model. So how do we operate? We are now operating with a vertical integrated ecosystem that we have designed in order to maximize the return to our shareholder through the entire real estate life cycle. So these are our 4 strategic focuses. So IDC Prime is focusing on hospitality and branded residences. IDC Homes is focusing on affordable economic housing, trying to address the big backlog of economic housing in the country. Prima is providing real estate services, so from sales and marketing, facility management, and property management of the unit. And then we have Impresa, which is an APC, engineering, procurement, and construction company. So for the hospitality and branded residence, what is it? Our objective is of creating a recurring income and a long-term growth for our investor. And we are currently developing for hotel flagship with international operator like Ascot to Citadin, one Citadin at Città Alta in Cagayan de Oro, another Citadin in Santo Tomas, Batangas, a Dusit Princess from the Dusitani Group in Bukidnon, and a Dusit Princess at Firenze in La Pasan, Cagayan de Oro. About IDC Homes, we are instead focusing on regional expanding and on volume. So we're trying to develop more economic housing. So we work on standardizing unit prototype that allow us to reduce the building time and the construction cost. Our building prototype, our project name is Verona Uptown in Cagayan de Oro, which is currently under construction. And now we are planning to expand more and to launch more economic projects. So we are now currently working on Verona Gusa, also in Cagayan de Oro in the barangay Gusa, which is a larger development composed of 1,654 units. And we are working on pre-development on a pipeline of 6,500 residential units in Puerto Princesa, Cagayan de Oro, Mexico Pampanga, and Mexico Pampanga. All of our projects also are, as I said before, are green certified by Hedge, and Hedge is the grading system of IFC from the World Bank. So excellence in design for greater efficiency, which is a certification developed for the emerging country. Also, this big volume of units that we are going to add to our pipeline is also going to help develop the revenue from our real estate service company. About our real estate service company, as said before, is providing services of sales and marketing. We are now trying to grow more the in-house brokerage system, since now majority of the sales are delivered through digital and online challenge webbing. We are now being more aggressive on social media and on digital, trying to sell more from our in-house and not only rely to the external broker. This will increase also our the revenue for the company significantly. We also provide a service of property management, focusing on the long-term asset preservation and facility management of all of our common area and equipment in our buildings. This is about our construction company, Edil Impresa, which provide services of engineering. So what we do, we try to eliminate any miscommunication between the designer and the contractor. So we carefully review all the plans and try to optimize and do a lot of value engineering to deliver the best product at the best cost. Then we also have established a global sourcing network. This helps us to mitigate the inflation and the supply chain volatility. And how do we do that? Through bulk purchase, we ensure that we are acquiring the project at a fixed cost, having the certainties how much is going to cost the project. And so our construction is focusing on developing the product, and through the construction team, the construction management team, we are able to have a control on the labor, on the subcontractor, on all the equipment, that it helps us to deliver the project on time, while relying only on third-party contractors. Here our financial performance. For 2025, our revenue is of almost 785 million pesos. We have an EBITDA of 340 million, and our net asset value grow to 1,951 million. This is for the first year. The revenue of ITALPINAS group is not coming only from the parent company, but we started to recognize revenue from our subsidiaries. This is the reason why, is because all the project of ITALPINAS, all the real estate development project of ITALPINAS are already been completed. So we have only a few units left in inventory, while now the real estate development has been carried over by IDC Prime and IDC Homes. We also have a component of the revenue from Edil Impresa of 13%, while Prima is still contributing in a smaller percentage, but we are planning it to grow more in this year. Here an overview of our income statement for the past 6 years. And then some slide regarding the revenue. Our revenue is increasing. We had a slowdown during the pandemic, but as you can see from the chart, we recover, and now the majority of the revenue is coming from the subsidiaries. Our profit margin are slightly lower than compared with the last year. So we are now at 49%, but still within the industry rate. This reduction in gross profit margin is mainly due to the inflation and the increase of the construction cost material. And we also have a reduction in the net income. approximately of 17% since 2024. As I said before, this downturn is due to the rising inflation and increase of the operating cost and the higher interest rate. Here is an overview of our balance sheet and few chart. So our total asset has reached almost 4.5 billion, representing overall a 13% of compounded annual growth rate. And as you can also see, is steadily growing over time. This is also reflected in the total equity. And instead, our debt to equity ratio in 2025 it went down from 1.53 in 2024. It is now 1.29, and is it way below the bank covenants, which our most stringent bank covenant is 2.33. So that means that the company maintains a healthy financial status, and we are avoiding to be over leverage, and we're able to repay all of our obligation. Here instead is the return on asset for 2025. We have a return on asset of 5.61, which is about is within the market average. And our book value per share has also increased from 2.36 in 2024. It is now 2.70, with an increase of 14%. This is due to the accumulated retained earnings. Here, an overview of our project, of what our project that we completed and what we are doing for the future. So this year is Primavera Residence, our first project, then Primavera City, our second project, Miramonti. And then now we'll present the project that are under development of IDC Homes and IDC Prime. For IDC Home, we have Parco Leonardo in Pampanga. We have 4 projects in Palawan, Verona Tinigiban, Verona Onda Bay, Parco Benito, and Primavera Bancao. We also have other 3 projects in Cagayan de Oro, Verona Uptown, Primavera Gitagum, and Verona Cusa. And for IDC Prime, we have Bahia Verde in Morong Bataan, Riviera in Puerto Princesa, Città Grande in Cagayan de Oro. We also have 5 hospitality project, the 2 Cittadin at Città Alta in Cagayan de Oro, Cittadin at Belvedere in Santo Tomas Batangas, Dusit Princess at Firenze in Cagayan de Oro downtown, Dusit Princess at Moena in Manolo Fortrich Bukidnon, and also we have a project under development under pre-development in Boracay, Miramare. Here is an overview of our project, and now we'll present a few slides showing individually our project. Here is Primavera Residenze. Primavera City already completed and sold out, Primavera Residenze. Also Primavera City, Città Verde and Città Bella already completed, sold out, and on turnover for Città Bella. Also Miramonti is already completed, almost sold out, and it's under turnover. Then we do have Città Grande, which is the phase 3 of Primavera City. Here some rendering. Then we have Bahia Verde in Morong Bataan. This is a development composed of 8 building of 5-story each. This is mixed use development with the resort type amenities, and we are currently it's going to be a branded residences. Here some perspective of the building, of the amenities at the inside of the unit. This is Riviera in Puerto Princesa. It will be composed of, it's another building with resort type, mixed-use building with resort type amenities composed of 4 buildings. Here some rendering of the building, the interior of the lobby, and the amenities. Città Alta. Città Alta is going to be citadine, the first citadine in Cagayan de Oro. 200 key will be managed by citadine by Ascot. Here some rendering of the lobby and the unit, the internal of the units and the pool. This is Belvedere at it's a citadine at Belvedere in Santo Tomas Batangas. Here some perspective of the building. This is Firenze. It's a Dusit Princess from the Dusitani group in Cagayan de Oro downtown. Here again some rendering of the amenities. Here is then our 4th hotel, Dusit Princess at Moena Mountain Estate, is in Manolo Fort Ridge, Bukidnon. Here some perspective of the building and of the 30 villas that we are building on the lower portion of the hill. This is our project Miramare Residences in Boracay. And for IDC Homes, we have Verona Uptown currently under construction. This project is already sold out, and is going to be our it is our pilot project for our economic development unit. Following the success of Verona Uptown, which is a walk-up economic walk-up building, we've decided to develop more. This is Verona Honda Bay, is located in Puerto Princesa, Palawan, and we are currently in pre-development stage. We're planning to launch it within the year. Here some rendering of the perspective and the interior and the lobby. So as you can see, even if our building if this project are economic, they don't feel as economic. So what they're still beautiful, well designed. So this is one of our strengths. We're trying to deliver to the economic market a quality product, which at the moment it does not exist. Here is another Verona Tanikiban in Puerto Princesa. Here rendering of the interior and the lobby. This is a larger development, is Verona 4PH. Is Verona Gusa in Cagayan de Oro, which is a larger development, will be composed of 15 buildings of 12-story each. And we're currently working on the permitting and planning to launch it last quarter of this year or first quarter of 2027. Permits, if we're able to secure the permits. I also would like to mention that the regulatory compliance in securing the permits is getting more harder and tough. There is new requirements that have been requested by the LGU, so it's going to get harder. This might affect the launch of the new projects. This is a Front Beach project. Is close to the airport in Cagayan de Oro in Laguindingan. It's called Verona Gitagum. Gitagum is the name of the municipality where this project will be built. So it is a 6-story building with amenities. And our target market is this will be a second home for our buyer our current buyer in Cagayan de Oro. This is Verona Bancao. Is it in Rizal Avenue extension in front of the airport. Here's some rendering and interior of the building. This is Parco Leonardo in Pampanga. Also on their pre-development, is it a subdivision of 15 hectare. This is the other subdivision of IDC Home, is Parco Benito in Puerto Princesa, is an 8-hectare property where we are planning to develop townhouses. Here some rendering of the proposed development. This is the end of the presentation, so thank you.
Thank you very much, Engineer Garofalo, for the comprehensive report. The 2025 audited consolidated financial statements of the company were appended to the information statement sent to all stockholders of record. Mr. Corporate Secretary, could you present the proposed resolution to approve the 2025 AFS and the voting results thereof?
Mr. Chairman, the proposed resolution is flashed on the screen. Resolved that the audited consolidated financial statements of the company and its subsidiaries as of and for the 12-month period ended 31 December 2025, as audited by the company's independent auditors, Moore, Rojas, Tabamo & Co., are hereby approved and accepted. We would like to make it of record that stockholders owning 537,749,043 shares, or 74.27% of shares represented in the meeting, voted to approve the resolution. 0 shares voted against it and none abstained.
This is noted. Accordingly, the motion is hereby carried and the 2025 AFS is hereby approved. The next item on the agenda is the approval and ratification of all acts of the Board of Directors and Management during the preceding year. May I request the Secretary to explain this agenda item?
This matter being proposed for approval and ratification of the shareholders refers to the acts and resolutions of the Board of Directors and Management since the meeting of the stockholders on November 10, 2025, up to the present. These were summarized in the information statement provided to the shareholders and also disclosed and posted on the company's website. The acts of the board and its committees include approval of contracts and agreements, investment and capital expenditures, treasury, and other matters that have been subject of the corporate disclosures to the Philippine Stock Exchange and Securities and Exchange Commission.
Mr. Corporate Secretary, could you present the proposed resolution to approve the acts of the board, its committees, and of management, and please provide the voting results thereof?
Mr. Chairman, the proposed resolution is flashed on the screen. Resolved that all the acts of the Board of Directors and Management from the date of the last Annual Stockholders Meeting held on November 10, 2025 to date are hereby approved and ratified. We would like to make it of record that stockholders owning 537,479,043 shares, or 74.27% of shares represented in the meeting, voted to approve the resolution. 0 shares voted against it and 0 abstained.
This is noted. Accordingly, the motion is hereby carried and the acts of the board, its committees, and of management is hereby ratified and approved. We now proceed to the election of directors. May I request Attorney Calvin Ryan Coherco, a member of the Nomination Committee, to present the nominees for election to the company's Board of Directors.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In accordance with the corporation's bylaw, the Nominations Committee has pre-screened and shortlisted all candidates nominated to the Board of Directors. The following persons have been nominated for election to the Board of Directors for the ensuing year, and each one has accepted their nomination. Namely, number 1, Romulo Nati, Jose D. De Vista III, Giuseppe Garofalo, Benjamin Tanco, Calvin Ryan O. Coherco, Christine P. Base, Grace Karen Singson, last but not the least, Giovanni Gosela. And as independent directors, Melchor C. Guerrero, Alfonso L. Salcedo Jr., and Carlo Antonio B. Almirante. All nominees are incumbent members of the board. All nominees have been determined by the committee to possess all the qualifications and none of the disqualifications provided under by the company's bylaws, Manual of Corporate Governance, and SEC rules, and are eligible for re-election to the Board of Directors.
Mr. Corporate Secretary, could you present the proposed resolution to elect the directors and please provide the voting results thereof?
Mr. Chairman, the proposed resolution is flashed on screen. Resolved that the following individuals be, as they are hereby elected as members of the company's board of directors to serve for a term of 1 year from May 26, 2026 until their successors have been duly elected and qualified. All of the directors received 537,749,043 votes.
This is noted. Accordingly, the motion is hereby carried, and the following are hereby elected as directors for the year 2026 to 2027. Romulo Nati, Jose D. Leviste, Giuseppe Garofalo, Benjamin Tanco, Calvin Ryan O. Cojerco, Christine P. Base, Grace Karen G. Singson, Giovanni Gusela, and as independent directors, Melchor C. Guerrero, Alfonso L. Salcedo, and Carlo Antonio B. Almirante. Congratulations to our board of directors. The next item on the agenda is the appointment of an external auditor. May I request Ms. Grace Karen G. Singson, Chairman of the company's Audit and Risk Oversight Committee, to report on its evaluation and recommendation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. After having considered the qualifications, performance, independence, and candor of communicating with the company of the incumbent external auditors, Moore Rojas Tabamo and Company, the Audit and Risk Oversight Committee, on behalf of the board, hereby recommends the reappointment of Moore Rojas Tabamo and Company as the company's independent auditors for financial year 2026.
Thank you, Ms. Karen. Mr. Corporate Secretary, could you present the proposed resolution to appoint the external auditor and please provide the voting results thereof?
Mr. Chairman, the proposed resolution is flashed on the screen. Resolved that the appointment of Moore, Rojas, Tabamo & Co. as the company's external auditors for 2026 is hereby approved. You would like to make it of record that stockholders owning 537,749,043 shares, or 74.27% of shares represented in the meeting, voted to approve the resolution. 0 shares voted against it and 0 abstained.
This is noted. Accordingly, the motion is hereby carried, and Moore, Rojas, Tabamo & Co. is hereby appointed for the year 2026. The next item on the agenda pertains to the proposed amendment of the corporation's bylaws to revise the schedule of the annual stockholders meeting. Currently, the bylaws provide that the ASM is held on the last Monday of March each year. The proposed amendment seeks to move the schedule to every first Tuesday of June annually. The rationale for this change includes allowing sufficient time for the completion and audit of financial statements, ensuring that stockholders are presented with accurate and finalized reports, improving compliance with regulatory requirements, particularly timelines for submissions and approval of audited financial statements, enhancing preparedness of management and the board, resulting in a more meaningful discussion and informed decision-making during the ASM. Mr. Corporate Secretary, could you please present the proposed resolution to amend the Article 1, Section 1 of the corporation's bylaws, amending the annual stockholders meeting date from the last Monday of March to the first Tuesday of June, and please provide the voting results thereof.
Mr. Chairman, the proposed resolution is flashed on screen. Resolved that the amendment of Article 1, Section 1 of the corporation's bylaws, amending the annual stockholders meeting date from the last Monday of March to the first Tuesday of June, is hereby approved. You would like to make it of record that stockholders owning 537,749,043 shares, or 74.27% of shares represented in the meeting, voted to approve the resolution. 0 shares voted against it and none abstained.
This is noted. Accordingly, the motion is hereby carried, and the amendment of Article 1, Section 1 of the corporation's bylaws, amending the annual stockholders meeting date from the last Monday of March to the first Tuesday of June, is hereby approved. The next item on the agenda is the proposed amendment of the corporation's Articles of Incorporation, Article 7, reclassifying 100 million unissued common shares into 100 million unissued preferred shares. Mr. Corporate Secretary, could you please present the proposed resolution and provide the voting results thereof?
Mr. Chairman, the proposed resolution is flashed on the screen. Resolved that the amendment of Article 7 of the company's Articles of Incorporation, reclassifying 100 million common shares into an additional 100 million preferred shares is hereby approved. We would like to make it of record that stockholders owning 537,749,043 shares, or 74.27% of shares represented in the meeting, voted to approve the resolution. 0 shares voted against it and none abstained.
This is noted. Accordingly, the motion is hereby carried, and the amendment of Article 7 of the company's Articles of Incorporation, reclassifying 100 million common shares into an additional 100 million preferred shares, is hereby approved. The last item on the agenda is other matters. Is there any other matter which may be properly taken up by the stockholders at this meeting?
Mr. Chair, we just have 2 questions from stockholders. The first question that we have is, how is the company dealing with the inflation and with the depreciated peso value? How are these things affecting company performance?
Maybe I can take this question. It's okay, Mr. Chair.
Yes, please go ahead.
The way that we're dealing with that is, as I've said, we have established over time a global supply chain that allow us to purchase the material at a lower cost instead of getting supply from local suppliers. So on that, we do have a bigger margin of saving on our construction material. So for the project that already been sold and that are still under construction, purchasing in bulk and directly from the factory is allowing us to have allowed us to have higher margin, and so we have bigger saving, and so now we are losing profit on those saving, but it still maintain the project profitable and viable. For the upcoming project or for the units that we have not yet sold, we are adjusting the price in order to accommodate this inflation. And we're also providing we're providing flexible payment terms to our new buyer, or helping the buyer that they need to catch up with this in this current condition. Our sales reservation still remain solid, and real estate is also a refugee asset during inflation. So we are expecting we are seeing more buyer trying to secure new units, especially if they are ready for occupancy, to preserve their capital. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Garofalo. The last question that we have is, there is a slowdown in sales in Metro Manila. A lot of RFO units, quote unquote thousands, are not moving. What is your situation in this regard?
Maybe I can comment on that issue. It's true that there's a slowdown in sales in certain parts of Metro Manila. Of course, the media has taken it as a story that Metro Manila as a market is slowing down. Of course, when you're inside of the industry or inside of the market, we can see that there's really more than one market, and Philippine real estate is not a monolithic thing that slows down or speeds up altogether. Of course, the parameters matter a lot when media items like a slowdown in sales come out. Parameters meaning to say whether the story is about Metro Manila itself or a particular submarket within Metro Manila, or not about Metro Manila at all. And I think that's where our history as a company becomes relevant, because since inception, IDC has always focused deliberately outside of Metro Manila, betting on the growth of peripheral areas, so-called peripheral areas where where growth is has a very different dynamic from here in the capital city. So with that, one thing that we can say as a company is that in a way we predicted this difference, this very important difference between real estate in the big city and real estate in emerging markets within the emerging market, so to speak. That's something that we've lived, and we've walked the talk, so to speak, since the beginning of our life as a company. Always focusing on where we believe the real growth, the most exciting growth in the Philippines is yet to come. In the end, of course, the numbers speak for themselves. Sales are down in particular places in Metro Manila. Our sales performance tells a different story, and we look forward to continuing that story in other new locations with similar profiles to where we've already proven that, of course, demanded real estate is a very dynamic thing. And aiming properly as the developer is something that we pride ourselves on and that we intend to continue doing. I'll just repeat myself. We're still on the last item of the agenda, which is other matters. Mr. Corporate Secretary, are there any other matters to be raised?
There are no other matters, Mr. Chair.
If there are none, we can adjourn the proceedings. With that, thank you everyone for attending our meeting. To the newly elected members of the board, please be reminded that the organizational board meeting for the year 2026-2027 will be held immediately after this meeting. Thank you again.